Hey, we got Kobie Turner in the house, baby. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus and special damn guest, three-time All-Colonial Athletic Association selection, 2 straight first-team honors, co-defensive player of the year, defensive lineman for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, and hopefully future Minnesota Viking. We got Kobie Turner in the house, baby. Kobie, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here, Kobie. We appreciate it so much. So NFL draft, 42 days away as of this recording. What's your schedule looking like? What are you doing right now to prepare for the draft?
Yeah, so I've been training down here in Pensacola since, middle of January, early-ish January. And right now we're in our taper because my pro day is coming up in about 2 weeks. So we're starting to kind of ramp down on, how much toll we're putting on our bodies, but we're still, practicing getting good reps at everything that we're working with. And in about a week or so, I'll head up to Wake Forest to get ready for this pro day.
Nice.
Boom. Pro day, what is it, 27th, 29th?
29th, yes, sir.
29th. All right. So you start out at Richmond as a walk-on. And anybody, go check out Kobie's story. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. But you start out as a walk-on and then absolutely dominate there. You end up going to Wake Forest for your final season. Do you think the fact, your background and how hard you have worked to get where you're at and working your butt off and continuing to overcome odds and get where you're at, do you think that actually is a plus? Do you think NFL teams are going to look at that and love the crap out of it?
100%. And that's one of my selling points, when we get in those interviews and when we're talking, I'm talking about the hardship that I face, how I've had to get everything, that I've worked for. I've had to get that from the bottom. I haven't come into a place and just have been exalted and expected anything. I've had to work my way up, and that's going to be no different, this upcoming year once I get to the NFL. I'm going to be starting out as a rookie, and there's a certain mindset too. Some people come in thinking that they know everything. Some people come in thinking that they own the place, but I know that there's so much left for me to learn, so many people that I can learn from. And so I'm just coming in with that mentality of just, going to work and getting everything from the bottom, picking up, the pieces of what everybody gives me and really putting together my best product yet.
You keep saying work, but I've seen your highlights. I've seen what you've done. Work. You're dominating. You're not working. You're working some club.
I got to ask you, what was it like, the adjustments you had to make going from Richmond to Wake Forest that final season? How much of a jump in talent level were you facing every week?
Yeah, it was definitely significant. The guys were bigger. They were a little bit more gelled together. I'd spent more time. That was one of the biggest things that I noticed going from Richmond to Wake Forest was my first weekend up at Wake Forest. Everybody was in the indoor on a Saturday getting extra work in. And like they had just came off of a bowl win 2, maybe 3 or 4 weeks earlier. So there's no hesitation. And so at that level, a lot of guys are putting in that work, and everybody's, putting in the time to be the best that they can be. And it's all about finding that 1%. So it was definitely, it was different. But I think that same mentality that we were just talking about is finding that way to get 1% better, continuing to work and outwork other people, whether it be in preparation, whether it be on the field, through effort, through motor. I think, that definitely helped me.
So you've had a busy offseason. You had a chance to compete at the East-West Shrine, and not only compete, but turn some heads. How was that experience overall?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was interesting walking in. You see, you're with a lot of the top talent. You see a bunch of big guys. You might see some guys that you recognize, walking down the aisle or walking down our hotels and seeing Bill Belichick. Like that was just a moment that snaps you kind of back into reality.
Nice.
This thing that I've dreamed of my whole life, it's right there for the taking. So it was really cool to go up and compete against the best of the best. It was really cool to work with the Falcons staff, to work with Coach Gothi, and really all of those guys on the D-line that I was working with. They're really cool guys, really awesome setting. We got some good work in together. We pushed each other. And we had a lot of fun. So very, 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 very grateful to Eric Galko and to that whole experience. That was something that allowed me to put, my talent and my potential on display. And I'm definitely grateful for that.
Did you happen to talk to any teams with this logo right here on their jackets?
I do not remember exactly who all I talked to because everything kind of happened very fast. It was like 4 teams per room. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's being sneaky.
Yeah, I know.
Did. He just want to give it up.
Hey, are you a guy who pays attention to the mock draft? Do you go on those simulators to see where you're coming off the board? Any interest in that? Do you follow that at all?
Not really. You know, every once and again, my girlfriend will send me something on Twitter that shows me where it's at, or she'll talk to me about it, but not really. I mean, I'm really just stick my nose down to the grind and get working. And whatever happens, you know, wherever I get my opportunity, I know I'm going to make the most of it. So I'm not really paying too much attention.
Nice.
Well, we are, and your name is hot. I mean, when you look it up, even like we said, looking at Twitter or whatever, you put your name in. Everybody wants you. Everybody wants you on their team. I mean, and you seem to be a name that keeps just like getting hotter and hotter. So when it comes to the draft itself, I mean, do you really have any expectations?
Not really. I don't know how any of that's going to happen. You know, I'm focusing on more of the things that I can control. You know, what I put out at this pro day. You know, the ability and the preparation and the work that I show. And really, this past season has been, you know, one of the things that's gonna, you know, one of the biggest things on my resume on how I played this past season. So it's all about, for me, the controllables, and I just know wherever I get picked, you know, it's just a question of where I'm going for me. And right once I figure out where I'm going, get my mind right for boom, you know, we're heading up north, we're heading down south, we're heading out west, wherever, and then
north.
and then it's time to get to work. So yeah.
All right. Again, we got Kobie Turner here, D lineman from Wake Forest, formerly of Richmond. I want to ask you, so next level, are you going to play inside 4-3? Can you play end in a 3-4? Where do you see your best fit, and where do you think you'll make a living?
So I see my best fit right now being a 3 technique and a 4-3 defense. But I'm also versatile and being able to show even a little bit of a 3-4 look in some of our stuff that we played with at Wake. You know, that has given me not only the confidence, but kind of, you know, the wherewithal to know kind of what's going on. And I know that I can, wherever I need to play is where I'll play, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability and, you know, strive to be great at it. So I definitely see myself more so as, you know, like a 3 tech and a 4-3, being able to penetrate, being able to move laterally, and create some gaps for the backers to feel. But you know, wherever I end up, I know I'm going to make the most of it.
Well, win-win. Vikings like to play a little 3-4. They play a little 4-3. So hey, we got spots all over the defensive line for you. We're talking about your pro day. Anything there? I mean, I'm assuming you're going to do everything 40. Everything is anything that's sticking out that you really think are going to start turning some heads when they see like. Oh.
I think my my 3 cone will be pretty solid, and bench press will be pretty solid too, for sure. So I think more the agility things, I'm excited about those. And then of course D-line drills. You know, I'm excited to be able to show what I can do on that stage. You know, having all the scouts out to Winston Salem and be able to hopefully put on a show. So,
do you want to dare give a prediction of the reps on the bench?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see, because the juice in that moment will be so different. So I have things that I'm aiming for. We'll see.
Is it like, I mean, is that what you start with? I mean, you want to start with the bench, right? I mean, get that when you're feeling completely fresh. Yeah.
I think we start with the bench. Yes, sir.
Heck yeah. All right. So you got to talk about your nickname. You're the conductor. We know the story behind it, but you know, some of our viewers may not know what that's all about. Why are you known as the conductor?
Yeah. So a big part of me is music. You know, music has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. My mom was on the worship team at church, and so I remember going with her every, you know, Saturday to practice, or on Sundays before church, and learning, you know, the music. And so as I grew up, music became more and more a part of my life. And actually, when all of this is said and done, when football's done, I want to be a high school choir director and a football coach as well. But hopefully, you know, that's 15 some, you know, years down the line, hopefully. But yeah, it really happened this one day in the locker room. It was like a practice in the middle of the week. We were dancing, playing some music, and I just started conducting like randomly, just, when you're with the guys, you just start doing random stuff and it's kind of like a vibe. So one of the captains at that time, he was like, that should be your celebration. So I tried it once and, it kind of stuck. The next week, I actually tried to like draw the Disney logo for all those, young 2000s Disney kids. But they thought I was conducting again, and it kind of just stuck from there. And so since then on, that was 2019, my first year starting at Richmond. From then on, it's just kind of caught fire, and I love it. It's another part of me that's so integral to who I am, and even integral to my preparation processes for football. Getting my mind right, taking that time to relax and to get all of that energy flowing the right way. Music is a huge part of that. And it's a huge part of who I am. And so I'm very, very grateful to have, a nickname that gets to bring that other half of me to display on the football field.
Yeah, we could use it.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say we could use a new celebration. We had Jared Allen with the lasso and the roping the calf. We had Brian Robinson doing the fish snag. So the conductor would fit very nicely up here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you got some lungs, man. I saw that video of you and your mom singing Amazing Grace. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So check it out. It's on YouTube. But so when you're off the field, aside from music, when you're not just absolutely dominating opposing offenses, which go look at his Clemson, go look at that Florida State game. I mean, it was awesome. What are you doing off the field aside from music? What's your biggest passion?
Yeah. So aside from like guitar and singing, spending time with family is huge. My dad calls up all the time and we're always talking. Me, my dad, my mom, my girlfriend is really huge to me as well. But I play a lot of Rocket League too. That's one of those sneaky ones that not a lot of people know about, but I'm pretty solid. I think my most recent ranking was like Grand Champ 1. So pretty proud of that. Play with a couple of the guys. It's pretty fun.
You probably beat my kid in that.
He probably has.
He probably has. But I'm playing him right now.
No,
go ahead.
The young kids, though, the ones that are 10, 12, those are the ones that dominate you. And then you hop on the mic with them and you hear a little kid's voice and you're just like, why am I playing this game? What am I doing with my life?
I was just going to say quick, Lupagus and I went to the same high school. You're talking about singing and music. We both tried out for choir. Lupagus didn't make it. He got the cut.
That's still a sore spot.
It is a sore spot for him. And no big deal.
So. Yeah, well, thank you.
Oh, God.
Thank you for rubbing that in again. No musical talent here, but I always wanted, I wrote a lot of lyrics. All right. So last one for Kobie Turner here. The team that drafts you, what are they going to get? What kind of player are they getting?
Yeah, so first of all, they're going to get somebody who has a relentless motor. And I know that term gets thrown around a lot, but truly, I think it would be hard to find somebody that plays as hard as I do. And that's, one of the things from being a walk-on that I had to pride myself on. When I had to still learn the skills and learn the technique, the one thing that nobody could ever take away from me was how hard I played. So that's one thing. The next thing is you're going to get somebody who's prepared. I watch a lot of film study, and I think that shows up in my game, in my tape. Like I can name off multiple instances where studying film or being able to tell certain keys gave me an advantage and allowed me to make a big play even this past year. So preparation, and not only of, preparing myself for what the opposing team is going to give me, but preparing my mind. I think that's something that a lot of people take for granted. And every practice this year, when other people might go off into the locker room and be kicking it with the guys, right before practice, I'm in the weight room stretching, have my headphones in, getting my mind locked in, because, this past year was a business decision for me. And I had to approach it that way. And I'm going to have to approach that way going into the league. I don't have time to not be prepared. I don't have time to wake up and not be ready to play football when the whistle blows. So you're going to get somebody who has relentless motor, relentless work ethic, somebody who's prepared, and lastly, somebody who is coachable. I know that I don't know everything, and I've worked hard to master my craft so far, but I know that there's so much more for me to learn, so much more for me to gain. And whether that be from my position coaches, whether that be from the coordinator, from the head coach, or from my teammates around me, I'm always looking for a way to find that extra edge, so that I can be the best player that I can be. So relentless motor, somebody who's prepared and somebody who's coachable, ready to go in it and give his all.
Boom.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, Vikings need help along the defensive line. We hope to see Turner on that thing on the back of your jersey. And watching you, it's just so fun to watch. You're easily becoming one of my favorite players in the draft. Whoever gets you is going to get one hell of a player. And if it's not purple, we'll be sad, but we'll be rooting the hell out of you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
You'll be conducting the skull chant next year.
Oh.
That could be awesome.
Yeah, no, we'll be rooting for you, man. Kobie Turner, appreciate you hopping on. Wish you well at your pro day, and we'll put Alaska in April at draft day.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Kobie.